You're hanging out with the Delon Yango and Shafi. We're at 8:11. And on Breakfast with the Stars this morning, so excited because yesterday we were reading up about him. I'm just like, oh my God, he's done so much. Internationally known music star. And of course, he's a Grammy Award nominee. He does a lot of social activism with his music. We have none other than Rocky Dawuni live in studio with us. Hey. Good morning.
Good morning, Nairobi. How's everybody doing this beautiful morning? Yes.
So the good or the bad?
Well, let's focus on the good.
Yes. Okay. We have our sweaters on and we are blessed to see the morning. So that's good.
And it's raining.
Yeah.
But it's great to have you here. And you were telling me this is not your first time in Kenya.
Yes.
You were here back when?
Yes, I was here when the first election that after the election violence and when the elections were held again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I came here, I was invited by Red Cross to come and participate in a peace initiative here. So I came and worked with Giuliani, Eric Wainena. We went into, all the ghettos, brought people together, and musicians and activists, and the thing is that I feel that, every African issue, regardless of where we are, we all have to be part of the solution.
Yes.
And when Kenya was going through those trying periods, I remember being on the road everywhere, and I'll go to places and people ask me, what's happening in Africa? They say Africa, not Ghana.
Yeah.
So it dawned on me that this is our problem, and we need to be part, really come here, work with artists to try and find the solution. And then, Ghana too, we've also gone through, trials. We have, different tribes, and sometimes, during elections, some of that stuff can be politicized. So it's something that we've dealt with. So being here and, traveling around and seeing the same issues, and then bringing everybody together, and letting everybody understand that together we are stronger than than apart. So that was the first trip, and then we ended up doing a concert too. I think on the eve of the elections at Uhuru Park. Okay. And then I was out, I traveled, and then I remember when they were just about to announce
the results.
And I flew back in again.
Oh, wow.
And that morning when I landed on my way, it was empty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was when they were waiting for
the results.
The results, And, getting back to the U.S., obviously now we are all the way back now. Things went well, and, Kenya went through the same process again. But I feel so proud that I was here at that time, just working with my brothers, because, I feel musicians and, are cultural ambassadors, and sometimes there is a certain responsibility, that they need to also become, when there's issues, they need to speak up. Yes, speak up and also
take initiative.
Take initiative and also play a leadership role in bringing everybody together, because music is about, bringing people together and also bringing the best out of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because whichever emotion that you go through, you can round it off to the nearest song.
Exactly.
So music always has like a powerful, hold on you.
And it's a time capsule too, because, music sometimes bring emotions that, like the music that I heard when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'll be traveling, and then when I hear it on the radio, it takes me right back.
Yes.
And the feeling, the smell, the energy, and all of that stuff are encapsulated in that. So it is a very important part. And as Africans, to our culture, we've always had music
for
as
everything.
Part of it. Celebration, when
whether
we lose somebody, whether we celebrate, everything, every social aspect has music, so it's a divine tool.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really a divine tool.
And I think that's powerful. So we'll definitely get to that, because, that's a conversation that's actually currently happening in Kenya.
Okay.
As far as musicians are concerned. But I want like Team Adele and Team Shafi to really know, Rocky, to really know when the love for music began before, being nominated for a Grammy, which is huge.
Yes,
So just like, oh my God. When did you first feel like, music is what I really love? It's what I'm very passionate about.
Well, originally, I'm from, if you know the history of Ghana, which most people probably don't, I need to I'm from northern part of Ghana.
Yeah.
And my father was, the last born of a traditional royal family. So, so he like figured out that, to be the chief was kind of a long shot.
Yeah.
So he left and moved to the capital where he joined the military.
Mm-hmm.
So we were born in a military barracks in Ghana. Mm-hmm. And the unique thing too about the military barracks at that time too was that it was kind of a combination of various people from various tribes.
Yeah.
So you are forced, first of all, to be multi-tribal.
Yeah.
You learn the different languages, the different cultures, So that was my first kind of, shall I say, immersion into multiculturalism and also multi-tribalism. Understanding that there's a bigger world than your little kind of perspective. You know? So at that time too, the Ghanaian military was part of the UN peacekeeping force.
Yes.
So they used to travel to, into, Israel and Egypt. And whenever they came back, they brought a lot of new music that the rest of Ghana did not have.
Yeah.
So here I was, multicultural, and also with great music that was coming
from
in
outside. Yeah.
And then the Ghanaian military was empowered. Then it was during the era of Jerry John Rawlings.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the military was the ruling entity in Ghana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So politics was also a very important part of my ambit. So I became kind of a child of who always thought about social initiatives, political initiatives, empowerment, multiculturalism. Also because I got music too from outside, I was curious too to really see how I could engage the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And then also bring the rest of the world to my community and also my continent. So these form the foundations of my musical vision.
Yeah.
But then I also understood that melody was something that was easy for me. Every time I heard a song, I would kind of deconstruct it into its portions. I was like, this is simple.
Yeah.
Why does everybody think it's great? Because I can deconstruct it, you know. So I knew that music was my calling, and then I was, interested. And because of my upbringing too, I was very interested in the music of Bob Marley, the music of Fela Kuti, and then my local high life music and traditional music. And all of this formed into the foundation of my sound. So when I first launched, I was at the University of Ghana. I was in my, I think, final year. And then I launched, we did a demo on campus, and the demo leaked out. And then all of a sudden, it was very popular in the country. I launched my musical career in Ghana.
Wow. Through a leak.
Yes, through a leak. A leak demo.
Yeah.
These days, people leak stuff for
other things. Yes.
But that was a positive leak, So then I traveled to the US, to really go and, open my mind, especially Los Angeles, where I interned with a music label, because I wanted to understand how to really do the marketing part of the business, because we didn't have that institution in Ghana, and then also the crew, the environment where I was where people like the Black Eyed Peas, like everybody was part of that crew.
Dope.
So I kind of got a lot of that, and then I came back to Ghana, recorded my first album, and that really launched me till right now, when my music, my sixth album, Branches of the Same Tree, was nominated for a Grammy, being the first Ghanaian to also be nominated for a Grammy. So it's been a beautiful and fruitful journey, but it's also been a journey of curiosity. And I have also always opened my mind to embrace more, because I feel that I'm a conduit between my home, my country, and the rest of the world.
That's
so
very
I
true.
go as an ambassador, and at the same time too, I go also as somebody who goes to collect and bring it back. Because in the long run, if I don't bring it back, then it's of no use.
Exactly.
Helping the process.
That's really powerful. And the journey, like, we want to dive deeper into the journey, which we'll do in the next 5 minutes. And guys, of course, we're going to sample some of Rocky's music. There's a song actually that's called Nairobi and done specifically for us. So we need to hear that. Good morning. You are with Delon Yango and Shafi Weru. We're hanging out with Rocky Dawuni, who's live in studio. He is the first Ghanaian to get a Grammy nomination. That's super huge. Only because, like, when we hear those things as Africans, we're like, oh, okay, we claim him also.
Yes. Well, it's and the interesting thing was that the category that I won, I got nominated in. Only the second African that has been nominated in that category.
Okay.
In the reggae category, you know. So for me, it was something for the continent.
For
and as I say,
So who's the other African? Lucky Dube?
No, Afro Blondie.
Afro Blondie. Ah, okay.
Wow.
Oh, no, that's legit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so for me, it is also to, I feel that, you know, if we are able to use our story to inspire others to also aspire to their greater self, then we have achieved something concrete, you know. So for me, right now, to hear even Ghanaian, you know, upcoming artists who don't even want to nominate it, they just want to win.
Yeah.
I love that because I'm just like, that is the spirit.
Yes.
The spirit is to know that you can do it. And you approach that spirit, and every stumbling block that you mean become a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know,
so we're going to get to your stumbling blocks, but I want to know, because this nomination came at your sixth album,
Yes.
right? And so there's quite a few people who would want, there's an urgency right now for people to get that success, like after the first album, or if we push it second, right?
Yes.
But do you feel like the struggle was worth it? First, second, third, fourth, fifth.
The struggle was worth it because, first of all, I was swimming upstream, you know.
Yeah.
Even when I started in Ghana and I was doing a variant of reggae music, the local industry, first of all, there was like, okay, Rocky, we like you, you know. One of my breakout hits was called In Ghana, huge song.
Yes.
You know, great support there, you know.
Yeah.
But they, you know, everybody was like, you know, your home is the rest of the world.
Yes.
You know. So I went out, you know, started, you know, obviously it's heavily Jamaican, shall I say, realm when it comes to reggae music, although I fuse a lot of African elements into it. So it gave me the opportunity to also be kind of known in different parts of, you know, different industries. And over the years, you know, as I rose in prominence, you know, then I had opportunity of collaborating with, you know, people like Bono, you know, Stevie Wonder, you know, playing at the Hollywood Bowl, you know, playing at the Kennedy Center. So all these, you know, and then every album provided me a new opportunity for a new audience. And also, you know, my stature kept growing to the point where, you know, even the Grammys became aware of my music, you know, but that was even before social media became a means to propagate music.
Yes.
So right now it's much more easier because you can do a song here, upload
Today
on
and
YouTube,
in a week you
in a week, and
the
everyone
Grammy guys
in
know.
America. But ours was much more. It was, you know, you had to go to America. You had to knock on somebody's door. They will look at you. You don't speak like them. No, you're not coming in. There was so many battles that you had to, and I feel that the process makes you stronger. The process of constantly going and knowing that you want to win and others are in your way, you know, and I'm always guided by, you know, this amazing proverb, an Akan proverb that says that whenever the hunter learns to shoot without missing, the birds will have to learn to fly without perching.
Yes.
So it means that whenever anything that is stacked against you, you have to work extra hard.
It's all about the comfort zone. It's all about the comfort zone.
So I knew that I needed, my music has to be quality. So I spent a lot of money in my recordings because my recordings have to be able to stand with the people who are putting
the big boys.
$100,000 into their recording.
Because that's your competition.
That's my competition. You know, so I put quality and also, you know, improved my songwriting, studied, you know, other artists, you know, went, you know, into different, you know, like in Los Angeles, you know, I was hanging out with, you know, a lot of, you know, cutting edge musicians, you know, learning from them. And all these were things that I distilled into creating a sound that became global. You know, so the thing that I want to tell the youth that I know that right now it's much more easier, you know, but enjoy the process. You know, because if you want to be a musician, it has to be something that your whole life is dedicated to it. So you don't want it to be over by the first record. You know? Just every record, use it as an opportunity to grow. And if you get maybe a Grammy for the first one, great. You know, but know that beyond the Grammy, there's also other opportunities that are over there. You know, and that's all my, you know, but there's nothing wrong with dreaming and wanting it all now because life is now. Right? Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we were listening to some of your music, and obviously we're listening in this crazy weather of ours. But there's one song that immediately made us feel
like this is
so
the song that we can
warmer.
play.
Oh my God, I was just like, this is the song.
You know, sometimes it's like it's all about perception.
You
know, you know, the glass can be half empty, but if you look at it half full, it changes your whole world. You know? And this song is about igniting that innermost energy, and also knowing that you are the one that can carve and craft your own destiny. So go out there with a big smile, embrace the day, seize the moment, and go out there and be successful.
Yo, this is a song for every Monday morning.
Yes.
Because Mondays are always the hardest. Guys, listen, we still have more time with Rocky, so do send through your questions. I'll get to them. Anthony, I see yours coming through. We'll get to them in the next 3 minutes. Remember, the hashtag is Adele and Shafi on Kiss.
And the production, when you talk about your production, man, now that's like legit amazing.
And then, that was my very good friend, Oneko Arika.
Oneko Arika.
Yeah, he was the guy at the end,
talking about Kenya. Speaking in Swahili.
Swahili. And, it was inspired, when I came here for the whole process of, traveling around, media. This was a song that I felt that at that time, that was like, the unity of Kenya was more important than individual or any political interest, And I wanted to find something that every Kenyan could gravitate towards. And traveling around this city at that time, I was like, wow, this is like a shining example of an African city, multicultural, upwardly mobile, So just the words started coming to me, So it was a gift to me from the people of Kenya, and then it ended up on the record too that was nominated for a Grammy. So
imagine,
so you can imagine.
So we
helped. It was our Grammy too.
Yes, of course. Yes.
We've now claimed it even more. But I feel like you had me at Kimathi Studios. I was just like, this sounds like somebody who just knows Nairobi so
Yes. It was beautiful. Yeah.
So as guys are telling us what they feel about the song Nairobi, and obviously it's just a lot of love that's coming through. Anthony had a question earlier on and asked, have you ever in this journey of music, have you ever felt like giving up at any point in time?
Oh yes, I mean, the thing is that you go through ups and downs. Sometimes there are certain records that I got my start from reggae music. I was really embraced within the reggae world, and then at some point too, I decided that I needed to infuse it with a lot more of my African perspective. So I did a record called Book of Changes. And Book of Changes was really a radical departure from the normal thing that was, I infused high life music and everything. And then, my audience was definitely like, what is that?
Confused.
Yes. But then the beautiful thing was that it started winning me new audiences within the cross-cultural alternative world. And then the first songs from there were used on big US TV shows like ER.
Oh, wow.
So from that album, I kind of was able to make a leap into US television. But there was the rejection part too. The rejection part of my the reggae community, and also my usual usual fan base, and it was really torn, as to that, was that a great move that I had made? But as an artist, I felt that I needed to evolve, and I needed to do things too that inspired me. And inspiration meant that I needed to be true to the experiences that I had and where I came from. So that move was necessary. But then it was, a time when, you just questioned, yourself, and I feel that, and there's been instances too, where, you've put out a record, and what you thought, the record would do, the record never did, and you've invested so much money into it, and you're in debt, and at the same time you recognize that this is part of the journey, that, you're gonna fall into big holes, you're gonna lose a lot, you're gonna be questioned, people are gonna tell you can't do it, but the mindset that I had right from, when I started, I knew that I came from humble beginnings. And then when I looked back, I was like, okay, there's a lot that I've attained. So that means that I shouldn't expect everything to be handed to me. I have to go out there and claim, what is really mine. And I think it was that energy and spirit that really kept me going.
Well, there's another question here from Mildred. And she's like, yo, good morning, guys. Amazing show. I love Rocky's music so much. Let's triple so. And Nairobi, Kenya loves you too.
Thank you.
And she goes ahead and says, you should do something with Gilad. That would be the best.
Gilad.
Yes, I don't know if you know Gilad.
No, I have not.
So Gilad is, we've also claimed him as Kenyan.
He's Israeli.
Okay. Oh, wow.
He came to Kenya as a deputy ambassador of the Israeli mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after he finished his mission, he decided he's not going back. So he's doing Kenyan music.
So he's based here now.
Swahili. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That would be awesome. I mean, I've collaborated with, a lot of, I toured Israel, a few years ago, and I was, I collaborated with one of the top, Israeli artists, from Moshe Ben-Ari to, Idan Rahel, who actually we were on the same label together, So I'm very familiar. And then I have a song actually that I wrote whilst I was in Israel called Jerusalem.
Oh, wow.
Which was, and I filmed,
The
video over there. And it was, a song about, rising beyond the concept of religious harmony, which, I feel that all of us, Africans, obviously we've adopted different, forms of religion, whether it's, it's Islam or
Catholic
Christianity.
Yes.
But at the same time, we should make sure that those don't become like a means of division, And then when you are in Jerusalem too, you see like every religion living in harmony there. But when we start moving from that epicenter, then you see the divisions, So, everybody for me is a brother, and I will be very keen to, connect with
my God, that, I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You and your life
Big shout out to Million Mildred.
Yeah.
We have to make this happen by then.
Oh, and then Octopizzo is a good friend of mine.
Oh,
yeah. I was hanging out with. I was just hanging out with him in Los Angeles, and we actually did a collaboration project together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yeah,
so when
we did it for an organization. So the song, they're still in the process of putting the song together. So I don't even know the ETA as to when the song is going to come, but it was an incredible session, in one of the most beautiful studios in Los Angeles, where everybody actually, everybody from U2, everybody records in that studio,
So it's bound to be like amazing.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll wait for that. But, where can people go if they want to know more about you?
Find your music.
Well, Rocky Dawuni, ROCKY, Rocky, like
Rocky Bilbao.
Like Rocky, but Dawuni is DAWUNI.
DAWUNI. Yes.
Okay.
And then the
.com.
Yes. .com, the same for Twitter, the same for Instagram, the same for Facebook, so everybody who's listening, just go and really join and be part, of the movement that we're doing, and then also my presence here, is, for the United Nations. I'm here for that reason, which is to elevate what is most important, bring all of us together, focus on the environment. Okay. And for me, I believe that the environment is our most important thing, because it's our greatest gift from God. Apart from the breath of life, is the environment that supports us, supports life. So it behoves on us to be custodians of it and preserve it.
Yes.
So my intention is that everybody has to be an ambassador of the earth, by taking, look around your neighborhood and see how you can contribute and take care of it. Because in the long run, that is our greatest legacy, is to leave this place better than how we found it.
Yeah, and even like the things that we're going through now that we're complaining about in terms of the weather and stuff, is everything is connected, guys.
Everything is connected. Everything is connected. We sometimes need the cool weather. We just came from a place where we were complaining about the heat.
Yeah. So this is great for you guys.
This is great.
Oh my God. It's been so amazing having you in studio, of course. Such a pleasure having you. And I hope everybody goes out and checks your music. And of course, Nairobi is going to be something that we're going to be jamming to right here on Kiss FM.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming through this morning, Rocky.
Thank you very much. And all the people of Kenya, God bless you all. Thank you for having me here. And I'm going to be a goodwill ambassador for the UN too on environment. So I look forward to, all the support, and everybody who is listening, please plant a tree.
Yes.
That's what I want to say.